What's up, guys? Hope all is well. Got another video for you today. It's going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge, but there's quite a few things that I wanted to show and talk about with you guys, and they don't necessarily all fit into a themed video like I would normally do. So I wanted to kind of just show them all together and not get them out of the way, but just show some neat stuff that is a little bit more random and not necessarily connected, um, but you know, something that could make a video out of it if I show all of it. So we got some interesting stuff to look at today, and some really cool and meaningful stuff as well. But start out with this card. My son wanted me to show this, but this is his little Yankees rookie card here. He signed this one, Taylor. He drew a little dinosaur there. I had this card made for him. He dressed up like Babe Ruth for school one day, and I took some pictures in the front yard and ended up making a card for him. But he drew dinosaurs all over the back. He put one, he put one of one there, and this truly is a one of one. That's for sure. But this was last year, so he's 9 now, but he was 8. But just had to show that. He wanted that in a video, so I said, of course, man. And you guys, of course, will meet Taylor someday. He's what keeps me alive, for sure. The next thing is a really cool card. It's one of the Hostess cards. Normally, of course, not a big deal, but this thing is the coolest miscut I've ever seen. So, obviously, here in Houston, Bagwell is my guy. And of course, Griffey is the guy in the 90s area that so much of us collect. Well, but let me show you the back of this first. So here's the back. You got the top of the Griffey card and, and the bottom of the Bagwell card. But check this out. Man, miscuts don't get any better than that for me. Griffey and Bags. But yeah, I don't have a lot of miscuts and stuff, so this didn't fit in any real themed video, but I had to show it. I mean, how cool is that? Shout out to Mangini. That there is a seriously cool miscut. Next thing, the other setup I have, where I have the field where I do cards that are on stands. This setup's more for just holding cards and stuff and showing them in front of this background. But the other one, people wondering what that is the 1984 Milton Bradley Championship Baseball. And I bought this set sealed, so it was brand new. And it's a baseball card channel, and yes, there are baseball cards in this game. So that's what that little stadium comes from, is this game here from 1984, Championship Baseball. And that is the box. But let's look at the cards. So there's a stack here. Of course, we're card guys, so I've sleeved and top loaded them. But there are red cards that are the National League superstars, and there's blue cards that are American League superstars. So here they are. So here's the National League. You got Darryl Porter, Steve Garvey, Gary Carter, Steve Sachs, Al Oliver, Bill Madlock, Dave Concepcion, Pedro Barrero, the Murph, Fernando Mania, the Wizard of Oz, the Hawk, Michael Jack Schmidt, Steve Carlton, and Pete Rose himself. So here's what the backs look like on these. And it, it has stuff for the dice and rolling for the game. But cool cards, right? These are super cool. Super cool cards. That is the National League stack. And the American League, we got these guys. Got Ron Guidry. Dave Steve, totally underrated. Watch the videos on YouTube about him. There's a guy that has like 5 videos. This guy should be in the Hall of Fame. Ted Simmons, Hall of Fame. Ron Kittle. Cecil Cooper. Lou Whitaker. Fisk. Wave It Fair. Carew. My man Dave Winfield. Wade Boggs. Robin Yount. Shout out to Double D. Dylan. George Brett, another of my and his 75 tops guys. Reggie. One of my all-time favorites as well. Ricky. And my man, Cal Ripken Jr. So that's how those look. Super cool. Obviously, you know, unlicensed with the teams, so their hats aren't going to have the logos. But other than that, I think these things are super sweet. So that's where that other background comes from. I made the other parts to it, but the stadium itself comes from that game. So that's the coolest game ever, right? I mean, if you love baseball, how can you beat that game? Baseball cards and a baseball card stadium. Next thing I wanted to show is some slides. So a lot of people don't know how back before the digital age, how the photos were given to Topps and Pacific and all the different companies for making the cards and putting whatever photo on the card. There were slides like this. Okay, so this one, the photographer is Jack Whalen, the year 1994. This is Bagwell. Okay, that's how they look there. So these would get turned into the companies. They would pick whatever image they want on the card. And I have a few to show you. So I'm going to turn on this light box here. So I don't have any of the ones that actually were turned into cards. Those are way more expensive because you can get the card and the slide that goes with it. I'll probably get one at some point, but it needs to be a player that I really like. And the ones that are available now aren't really my guys. So I've got some really cool slides here though. So this one here, I'll show you with the light box. See if we can get that to focus there. There you go. So there's Baggy taking a swing at the plate. So they didn't pick this for a card, and I don't know what company this was for. All the rest of mine are from Pacific. This one, I'm not sure. But there's that image of Bagwell. This one is for Pacific, taken by Rob Leiter. Right there. So that would have been sent to Pacific to see if they wanted to use that for a card. You can see the date there, 6/11/2000. Houston at San Diego. Jeff Bagwell. One more Bagwell. Really like this one. This is from the same day, but he was about to go to bat. So another Pacific slide. How cool is that, man? This is how they made baseball cards. This is what we love. This is what we love. Here's my favorite one, my boy Sammy Sosa from 1998. So this is in the big year. This is from 1998, guys. Arizona at the Cubs. So this is Wrigley. This is 98. I haven't looked up what he did on that date, but that is a sick pose. I wish they would have made a card out of that one. But yeah, really, really cool. And of course, if I had that, I had to get Big Mac from 98. So this is from 8/23/98. St. Louis at the Phillies. And there's McGuire. So both those cards are from the 98 season. And last but certainly not least, everybody's favorite guy. June 25th, 98. Seattle at San Diego. There's a Ken Griffey Jr. So a slide of him by the dugout with the donuts on the bat. Super, super cool, guys. So that's how these were. These were just the slides. They would be introduced to the companies. They would pick which images they wanted to go on their cards. And that's how that worked. None of these, I don't think, were used for an actual card, but I wish that Sosa would have been. That was a killer shot. But that is super awesome, guys. I love stuff like that. You don't hear many people talk about, you know, slides for cards, but man, that's how we got all these images. That's how we got all these cards back in the day. It wasn't all digital, and you can imagine how more efficient it is these days, but I love that stuff. I absolutely love that stuff. The next thing I wanted to talk about is some inserts from Stadium Club called Triumvirate. And they were from the late 90s, like maybe 98, 99, 2000. They did them for like 3 years. There's 2 of the sets I'm not going to have represented here, because what I wanted to do is have the Bagwell run, and he's not in the other 2. So there's one that looks kind of like a glove, and there's another one that has a bunch of little saw teeth on it. But Triumvirate, obviously with the name you can guess it's 3. So they would have 3 cards that would fit together kind of like a puzzle. And there was different designs, and you'd have 3 guys either, you know, the same position, or 3 guys on the same team. You know, they kind of did it different ways, but I'll show you the ones I have. They are beautiful. Now they came in 3 different flavors. So we'll talk about that. This one here, the base one, was called Triumvirate Luminous. And it was this. So it's basically like a chromium card. You can see the die cut, because the guys that would have been to the sides of him would fit into that, and it would make one big picture with 3 guys. But the base ones are luminous, and these were tough pulls. The pack odds on, especially the other ones I'm going to show you, you weren't going to pull a lot of these. You might pull some of these, but the other ones, you really weren't going to pull. But Stadium Club 3x3, Triumvirate Luminous. So Luminous is the standard one. Luminescent, to me, is the best one, but it is the middle one. So this was super tough to pull. It's basically a refractor. So still the same kind of stock as the other one, but it's a refractor. And on this year, they would write it right here. So you could tell if you had a luminous or a luminescent or whatever. Later, they put them in tiny little letters on the back. Much harder to tell what you had. But that's the luminescent. That's the best looking one. But the rarest one is the Illuminator. And what it was is an acetate card. So you can see through it, it's plastic. But the only refractory parts are just little things. You can see pop and shine, the lines and the stitches. And so it's a plastic card, but doesn't shine quite like the luminescent. But the Illuminator is the toughest pull. You really weren't going to pull these back in the day. But now you can pick them up pretty decently, unless it's Griffey or something like that. So of this particular Triumvirate, and you can see what I mean about that middle one, that's the best one. But this is the order of how rare they were and how tough they were to pull. And of course, having an acetate card was, you know, special. But the prettiest one is the luminescent. So that's what I like collecting. But I wanted one set like this to have, and of course, show you guys as well. But that is cool. So that was 1 year. And they had multiple ones in the same year. It's interesting how they kind of did it. But that is one type of luminescent Triumvirate. Here is another one. This thing is gorgeous, and the picture is fantastic. Look at this thing. Great picture of Bags there. So this is luminescent. They were still writing it at the bottom on this one. And you can see how the puzzle to the left would have fit with the next piece. Bagwell would have been the right piece. There would have been a center and a left piece with different players. But that's how that looks. When I first saw these, I just thought there was some crazy design. You know, it looks awesome. I did not know they fit together. But that's what Triumvirate is talking about. It's a triplicate piece. So that one is absolutely beautiful. Very cool card. Luminescent. And the last one I'll show you is this style. And this is the one with the with the big payoff for me, because I didn't know when I was first buying these what these did. These are sick. So they are die cut again. There's those slits, which is super neat. I thought these were just random cool patterns. So Bagwell is your left guy. His partner in crime, Biggio, is the center guy. So you got all the die cuts, you got the slits, you got the shine from the luminescent, and these are the ones that don't say it on the front. It's on the back, right under the number, luminescent. So he's your center guy, and for 2 months we had this gentleman, and he completely dominated. Best pitching stretch ever for 10 or 11 games. Threw 4 straight shutouts in the Dome. Didn't quite take us in the playoffs like we wanted, but man, we packed out the Dome. One of the best days of my life when he first went there. And 50,000 fans with rags. Just, man, it was just so loud and amazing. People were standing waving their rags the whole game. But that's when he was with us here. But that's the right card. So you got the left, center, and right. So obviously they did a team on this year, and not just, you know, people with the same position or whatever. But what's super cool, and what I did not know, is when you take these cards and you put them together, check it out. It makes the infield. It makes the baseball diamond. How sick is that? So if you join all 3 of these cards together, you got the infield of the diamond behind the guys. When I discovered that, man, my head exploded. That was just insane. Well, like I said, I didn't want to make a whole video just about this, but man, I had to show you guys this for those of y'all that didn't know how these worked. So those are my favorite Triumvirate luminescence there. Just a cool set of cards. And it would have been impossible to pull these 3 guys out of packs back in the day. So I'm definitely super happy to have them now and to be able to share and show you guys. I love this kind of stuff. A couple more things, more personal kind of things. I wanted to show this. I got the privilege to play in a golf tournament that Roger Clemens and Gift Nielsen put on here, and each foursome that was there got to have this. So I have framed it up, of course, but that's me on the left, my boss that bought this thing to my left, to the right here. And you got a picture like this, and Clemens signed it. So we all got one of these. He signed a beautiful signature right there in the middle. That was back in 04, 05, one of those 2 years whenever he was pitching here. What a fun day. Don't remember how I played or anything, but got to meet Clemens, got to get this picture with his autograph, and can't beat that. But I didn't know really where to show that, so I figured I'd throw it in this video. And the last thing is something super meaningful to me. My grandfather, who is, long since passed, I had made this frame thing up, but I have a couple of relics of him. I used to have his, and I may still somewhere in a box, but I can't find it, but I had his umpire mask But this here I framed up. That's him second to the right with his boss. He worked for Lawrence Marshall Chevrolet. And they're shaking hands with Art Howe there. So I put that in here, but here's the coup de grace here. This is a very, very old, I'm just showing you the frame here. There's a very old photo from the newspaper of a baseball game. And the gentleman in the center is my grandfather. You can see it says Umpire Henry Isgett. So I cherish this thing. That is amazing. So I framed this up to keep it, but yeah, he used to do some semi-pro type umpiring way, way back in the day, before my mom was born or anything like that, before he was married. But yeah, super, super cool photo that I get to have of my grandfather. So I wanted to share that. Just one of those kind of family baseball things that you can't duplicate, you know. it's just too cool. But yeah, so that's it. Bunch of random stuff, but I thought it was some neat stuff and I really wanted to share it all, so I figured I'd just put it all in this video. But that is it for today. I really appreciate you guys watching and all the support and all the great comments I've gotten and the subs. You guys are awesome. This YTCC, this YouTube card community is fantastic, and there's so many great guys. And I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks, guys.